Hey, welcome, everybody. Welcome to LWN Network. Welcome to the show tonight. We've got a great show planned. We've got Jeff B in the back, and we've got John E, both of them tonight, to be able to catch us up on what's been going on lately. We know that it's been crazy out there with all the different things going on with Iran and ships and with the State of the Union tonight, which we're going to cover live. So thanks for being here. I want to let you know that during the State of the Union, we're just going to play that. And then John, Jeff, and I will be chatting with you guys in chat while that's going on. And then when the State of the Union's over, they've both graciously agreed to talk about it afterwards as well. So we've been having trouble, you guys, with StreamYard and the different platforms. That is why we were not on yesterday. I worked all day trying to get the show on. I thought it was set, and it was not. So please have patience with us with that. I'm hoping tonight everything goes okay. I'm seeing that X is having problems still, saying that they can't run something or whatever. So we're going to do the best we can, you guys. That's what I have to say tonight. So before the president comes on at 9 o'clock, like I said, Johnny, Jeff B, and I will be filling you guys in and having conversations about what's been going on in the world. But I also have one last thing before I get to this. If we go down, I'm going to try to get the audio to work. If it doesn't, what we're going to do is we'll come back on after the State of the Union address is over with. We will be on definitely. So we are going to play the State of the Union live. We'll be in chat live. But if we go down for some reason, know that we will do a show afterwards, and I will post a new show. So we will definitely give you coverage tonight afterwards as well. The last thing, but most important thing, I wanted to let you guys know tonight, LW wasn't able to make it tonight. I'm going to ask you guys, and he's asking you guys to keep his mother in prayer. She's in the hospital facing some very serious health issues. So if you guys could pray for Mike, his mother, Shirley Poff. She's a sweetheart. She's in here in chat a lot of the time saying hi, but he is obviously handling that kind of business with her. We want to keep her lifted up in our prayers, in our thoughts, and also during the State of the Union address, I do have an address that LW gave me to share with you guys if you wanted to send cards or flowers for his mom. So I do have that, but I will drop it in chat during the State of the Union, and I know the mods will grab it and keep it for you guys. Also, after the show, I will post it on our Facebook page if you guys wanted to send thoughts and prayers to Mrs. Poff, LW's mom, facing her health issues. And not only that, if that wasn't stressful enough, families really have been going through it lately with sicknesses and everything else. There's another round of the flu or whatever going out as well. My son got it again. He works as a fireman, so he's in the hospitals a lot, so he's down again. But we just have to keep everybody in prayer. That's what it was, and stick together. And LW texted me tonight, and he said he has something going on with him as well. So he's down and out. He may be in chat tonight if he isn't already, but he doesn't have a voice to be on tonight. He said he would like the distraction and stuff because we know how stressful it is when we have a loved one who's ill and sick. And sometimes we just need that little bit of distraction. So with all that being said, we are going to get the show under the road here and get it going because, like I said, we've got a lot to get to before the president comes on. And I know you guys have been patiently waiting to hear from Johnny and Jeff B, and they will be right back with me right after this, you guys. Here we are, everybody, ready to go. Hey, Johnny, welcome. Hey, Jeff B, welcome. How are you guys tonight?
Good, and yourself?
Really good. Oh, Johnny must have bounced out. He's got to bounce back in. We're just going to have to say that this is going to be a wing and a prayer tonight, Jeff. Anyhow, I'm glad you're doing well, but boy, has it been like a nut job type of world we've been living in lately. Gosh.
Well, and I think it's going to get a little bit spicier as we go along.
Yeah, I think so too. It's been a wild ride, that's for sure. And tonight, with the State of the Union, we were talking in our group chat, and Johnny was saying like 50 plus Dems aren't going to show up, and now it's up to 72. Is that even legal?
I don't think there's any law. They don't have to, but it just and I posted. My belief is, it's just like kids when we were children and we'd go out and we'd play a game and someone would fall behind in the game and then they would pick up their ball and go home, And I guess that's the way Democrats, but they're putting on one heck of a spectacle. Jesse Waters just had on some of their little, I guess they've got multiple locations where they're doing their little protests. So let them have at it. They, if they don't choose to engage, what's that tell you about them?
Right. Jeff B., what do you have to say about that?
Well, are they afraid something may happen tonight? I got a text a few minutes ago from the big chair saying that Donald Trump has asked the Speaker of the House to use the gavel that George Washington used.
What? I just got chills. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, they brought it over, I guess, from the National or the Smithsonian or the National. I think it'd be the Smithsonian. And,
wow.
They brought it under motorcade, and Trump's asked him to use George Washington's gavel.
Oh, wow. That'll be something, hitting that table for the first time in how long,
Yeah,
Well,
really.
I was wondering what the heck. Oh, LW is in chat, so he must be awake. He was going to take a nap, so that's good to know that he's in there. Anyhow, I was going to say it's so funny because coming in, I saw the video of all the police and all the military that was coming to protect the State of the Union. I'm like, I've just watched just tons and tons of vehicles, and I'm like, what is going on? So, Johnny, what did you put in our group chat that your two things that you thought that was the reason they were having all this so-called security?
Well, I mean, number one, there's possibility that they've received some notification of a actual threat that they may have received. When you see where the kid just made his little stupid assassination attempt, whatever you want to call it, at Mar-a-Lago. So that's a legitimate concern. But is there something outside of that they've been informed of? And that demands, because look, everybody knows where the president's going to be right now. And that's just a fact. So the extra security, I think, might be warranted. This is, it's hard to tell. Maybe it could be possible that if Jeff's logic could apply, and maybe they need all those vehicles to haul off some criminals. I don't know.
Some shit.
That would be pretty amazing to see that. And then I was thinking, I said in our chat, I'm like, I'm feeling like a cute person because I said, well, maybe that's why the 70-some Dems aren't showing up because they're already arrested.
It could be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be a great thing to see. But I think the reason why there's so much security is based on what Marco Rubio did this morning. He wears two hats. He's the Secretary of State, and he's also the National Security Advisor. And the big chair told me this morning that Marco Rubio was sent to Congress to inform the Gang of Eight on a national security issue and of major proportions. My guess, symbolically, we may do a preemptive strike on Iran as the State of the Union is going on, and they want extra force protection there in case, well, I mean, you got the IRGC, you got the Iranians, the Quds Force, we probably got some of them in the country. And then with SEAL Team 2 and the Mexican Special Forces taking out El Mencho, the cartels are going to want a little salt as well.
Yeah, it seemed, Trump said the other day, and I'm not sure if it was before or after the angel ceremony that he had for the families of the angels. He said, I don't know how long I'm going to be around because everybody's gunning for me. And, that just put me in pause because no president ever should have to feel that way. I mean, you look at what's happening in the streets all across the world, and you can't even tell when you look at a video if it's in the other parts of the world of the United States of America. We never used to have this look like we do now, and it's kind of terrifying, really.
Yeah.
John?
Well, I'll tell you what, I went yesterday to try to corral some real statistics about the cartel violence and crime in Mexico, and it floored me. And I'm the number of villages that have been totally abandoned, where people had to flee for their own safety, by the hundreds of thousands. And these villages, they're small villages, but still in all, people are totally displaced out of their homes. And then typically in the mountainside, these cartels have got 50 caliber machine guns racked and ready to roll for anybody that enters that village. So they're totally destroying and removing people from their homes. And one of the shocking numbers to me was the number of females, number of women that are being murdered. They actually at times outpace the number of men being killed. And it's violent. I mean, you're talking about people that are chopping the heads off of a woman once they've raped and pillaged. Well, they just lob their heads off. I mean, and how sick is that? And then where they've taken over and they have their own bands of army to where the military is not even effectively going in and attempting to take it over. So I don't know what they're going to do, but to me, it became obvious that much of the political system in Mexico has got to be on the take. These cartels have got hundreds of billions of dollars, and they've bought off and bribed to where, how many military members are bribed? It's shocking.
It's everyone, because they were talking about how all these businesses in Mexico, after, like Jeff said, they took out El Mencho, that cartel boss. They're not going down, obviously, without a fight. Even after that, it just inflamed everything. But they were just destroying businesses, destroying vehicles. And the thing is, this is what was very scary to me, is they were right along the border, pulling up by Border Patrol and officers there right along the U.S.-Mexico border. They had no fear. And they were saying the talk about it was that they were showing that they still are in control and they aren't worried about what is being done right now. So that was supposedly a strong show of force. And that's very terrifying. We know that the cartels are all across the world, and they aren't going to be liking this, getting cut off, like you said, at the neck here. Yeah. So what do you know about Mexico and what's been going on, Jeff?
Well, I had heard late last night that they're saying it's a Mexican Navy ship, but I have heard that we have exfiltrated the Mexican president and put her on the high seas there in the Gulf of America as a precautionary exercise to make sure that she stays safe, so we don't have another major issue inside Mexico more than what we already have. And I think Doc P had said they had just shown the gavel that the Speaker of the House is going to be using, and some of this equipment that they have brought in is some nesting detectors, so nuclear sniffers. I'm sure that the skies are going to be full with some eavesdropping and ELIN equipment. So, as many attempts as Trump has had on him, I'm sure. I'll tell you what, I'd be nervous, because I think these after this, if something if we don't start something during the State of the Union, I think shortly after, because with Thursday, with the talks happening again with Iran, I think that's done and over with. I don't think anything's going to come of it. I really look for, Trump to come out and say, we're doing a preemptive strike, just to let them know we mean business. And I not for certain, but something's going to happen here really quick, because the news media is trying to put out there that General Kane is totally against us striking Iran. And,
right. Yeah, that's what they're putting. Yeah, I saw that.
And he actually, put out a statement, I think through the Secretary of Defense, that basically said that's bullshit.
Well, two things. There was just that, they say, attempt. I mean, the young, wasn't it a 20-some-year-old that was at Mar-a-Lago, and then they obviously unalived him. But even if he knew Trump wasn't there, does that mean he's going after family? Because it's not just the president; they'll go after whoever. And I haven't heard any more about that, any more details, like who that kid was involved with, or what was the deal was with him, like his personal stuff. But he's had so many attempts over and over, and that's the ones we know about, right? Because they don't tell us all of them, I don't believe. Right. It's just if it's obvious that something happens and people catch it, or people know and they can't keep it quiet. But not just Iran am I worried about. It's Mexico, because they were taking out of Puerto Vallarta and Chalupa, or Chapala, whatever it's called there. They were taking U.S. citizens and vacationers and stuff and taking them out of there, and there's no way out because the airspace is closed. It's very, very scary there right now, and I haven't heard any more about that, what's been done, because everything's closed there. And they were bombing a lot of stuff and blowing up a lot of stuff, and people in vehicles, these cartels in these vehicles, just shooting like crazy out the windows of these vehicles going down streets.
Right. Yeah, it's my personal take is I'm more worried about the threat from Mexico than I am Iran. And the reason being, the cartels, it can be proven that they purchased stuff from Iran. And, with the 4 years of this border being open, it's pretty daunting to think what possibly could happen. And I'm just seeing the clip now where after the meeting with the Gang of Eight with Marco Rubio, whatever was said inside of this meeting, Chuck Schumer come out to the microphone and basically said this is very serious. So whatever, and I'm guessing it's probably with Iran, because I don't think Israel's going to hold back either. They're itching because,
they've been itchy, and you had Lindsey Graham over there, and you've got Mike Huckabee. I mean, it goes on and on with the warmongers, that's for sure. Before we go any further, and I want to get John's thoughts on this as well, I want to thank Carlene and Chase, because they did send us money for coffees the last time, and we weren't able to thank them. And LW said, make sure you thank them. So you guys, Chase and Carlene, thank you so much for your coffee donation, and you get entered for the drawing at the end of March as well. So thank you guys so much. So John, what are you more worried about, Iran, or are you worried about Mexico?
Iran does, if we are to believe what the president said about the destruction of their nuclear warhead capability, well, then I would fear what Iran has sold to the Mexican cartels in the way of shoulder held, because look, they were actually shooting at airliners with 50 caliber machine guns. Now imagine what happens when you threaten a U.S. plane and you're shooting at it with a 50 cal. If you take down a plane with Americans on it, it's all over. I don't care what El Presidente down there says. Mr. Trump will be forced to take action because that's a direct threat. And then how far underneath the Biden administration, what type of equipment of the drones that they purchased from Iran how many of them are located inside the U.S. border that we don't know about, that these cartels have control on? How many maybe are in California? So there's a lot of, I have a lot more fear of something happening to an American because of the Mexico situation than I do the Iranian situation. I think the Iranian situation is going to be dealt with, but it'd be hard for me to believe. I don't know what the time frame is, Jeff, and maybe you do. But once a gang of 8, there's a protocol that has to be followed. When you go to the gang of 8, you have to give them a time frame, and I want to say there might be like a 48-hour window prior to something that's going to take place, a military action. So maybe there's, it's hard to say which one.
Yeah. Colonel Douglas McGregor just put out that he was informed by the Secretary of War that a decision has been made, and what's going to happen will compel Iran to adhere to their demands. And the last line of his statement was, "Get ready." So yeah. I think this may kick off, as Trump gets ready to come to the House floor.
Yeah, well, when John's talking about who has what, the Mexican military, they seized rocket launchers and armored vehicles in the killing after the raid of the cartel. I mean, the leader, what's his name? El Mencho, right?
Yep.
El Mencho. And that's pretty troubling. And then as far as Iran, now this was as of yesterday, we have over apparently 60 U.S. military aircraft in Jordan. And then we have a satellite imagery that says multiple U.S. F-35 fighter jets are positioned at an airbase along dozens of cargo planes supporting the buildup. So when you mention like Monkey Works and knowing anything about the jets and the fueling, when you've got the cargo planes there that have equipment and the refuelers there alongside the fighter jets, that seems pretty serious business to me.
Okay. So far, only 4 justices have showed up.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean? Are they taking some in the paddy wagons?
Well, there was rumors that all of them weren't going to be present. And I seen Roberts, Barrett, Gorsuch, and Sotomayor. Those are the only 4 that are there right now.
Yeah, I've got up the feed I was going to play was from the White House, and they're just doing something different because I thought that would be the safest feed. If that doesn't work, then I've got the Fox 5 Washington, D.C. feed, and they're just showing like people in the whatever that is called there, the
Yeah,
rotunda.
they look not nervous, but they're not doing too much greeting.
Yeah. Hey, John, real quick, can you show off your shirt? Speaking
Yeah.
of cool
Hey,
stuff, what do you
that
got
is-
on there,
that is
John?
One sexy shirt.
I'm going to tell you, my
What-
wife told me that I've got to stop wearing it. She goes, it's nice, but if you keep washing it every other day, you're. I said, well, I'll just have to get another one because I
That-
love it. I love
Rotate
it.
them out.
Yeah, they're really well. That is that's from, is it your state? I can't see the
No,
bottom.
no,
No,
This
that's
What is that?
Liberty Warrior.
Oh, Liberty Warrior. Oh, the established. There we go.
Yeah.
Very, very
Yeah.
handsome looking shirt. That's a powerful shirt. Speaking of shirts, you guys, we still have the page, the merchandise page linked into the top or pinned to the top if you want to get a shirt. And we had, you know what, we haven't been on to talk about. We still have that promotion going on, don't we, Jeff, till the end of February? So do you want to remind everybody what the promotion is for merchandise real quick here?
Yeah, I think it was 20% off and of the new tumblers,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was over $30. It was free shipping, if I remember. I'm been out of
The loop.
out of that for a few days, but
Yeah, that's what happens. You start getting foggy, let me tell you.
yeah, it's it's automatically done in the shopping cart. And I seen a comment in there from Susie. Yep, we're doing the sourcing on the V-neck, so we should have those within the next few days.
Yeah, and LW and I are supposed to have a meeting. We haven't been able to because Jeff asked us to like a couple weeks ago, and we're supposed to go through and pick out women's merchandise and stuff, and then Jeff's going to get it up there. So I know that you guys want V-necks or hats and things like that.
Yep.
So LW, when he's better, things settle down, we will do that. We're going to go through that and pick
Looks
some
like-
stuff out.
Yeah, it looks like we may be getting ready to start. Melania just walked in, and all the kids are there.
Which one are you seeing? Which feed are you watching?
This is America One News.
Oh, this is, I'm not sure. Let me, because the White House one's not up there, and then the raw feed from Fox 5's not up there. But then let me put up Fox News real quick here so we can make sure we don't miss anything if there's cool stuff, because you're seeing some cool stuff.
Yeah, I think like maybe America's Voice may be good to go to as well.
Okay, let's watch this for a second, I didn't want to have any problems with getting in trouble for broadcasting something, but
Yeah, here comes the cabinet.
okay, let me go to, let me see if this one, all right, let's do this. Let's switch the feed and I'll go to what you said. Stop sharing. Let me pull this up.
There's America's favorite law enforcement, old Pam Bondi.
I cannot, I know, that's
What a
just
joke.
nuts.
You know, that kid. That's one of the things that they're saying is that
There we go.
from what they gathered at his house, he was somewhat upset about the Epstein files.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he planned on doing. One can of gas and I had Mar-a-Lago.
yeah, that didn't
Upset
work
the
out too
guards.
well for him.
So before they start, you guys, I have a question, and we might have to cover it after. But what do you guys think about Kash Patel celebrating the U.S. gold with the U.S. gold medal winners at the hockey team, the U.S. hockey team? Oh, Schumer's there. He said he wasn't going to show up.
Right?
There's Roberts. Roberts is there.
There's
Anyhow, he said that
there's only
what?
4 justices there.
Roberts
I'm
and
surprised Clarence Thomas is not there.
Right.
He might be
yeah.
the designated survivor.
Oh, who's there? Okay, we got Johnson and we got Vance up there. This is cool. But anyways, Cash celebrating now. A lot of people are like, hey, he's allowed to have this and do this. He loves America, the United States. He was just celebrating them. They invited him. He went. But then there's other people that have said, hey, do you know, not only is it just the Super Bowl, but the Olympics were there's Melania looking sharp. There's Barron. The Olympics are the second biggest, largest sex trafficking thing as well. So I'm thinking, well, maybe he was there doing some work and maybe he was, we'll find out about that. And then that was the cover celebrating. So I don't want to rush to judgment.
Yeah. Settle down, Admiral.
I'll tell you what, the one thing that they failed to tell anybody about Cash is he plays hockey. He loves hockey, and he's supposedly a pretty good hockey player. So for him to be there, I'm sure he was pumped,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want that opportunity? And he does have a right to have downtime. I mean, everybody does. But okay, so this is RSBN. So I guess we'll play this one because they're showing it because the White House one isn't, and the other ones still have the same feed as before. We shouldn't get in trouble for this one.
No, I don't think anyone.
Now, right side probably give you some money for running it.
Right.
Right. But let's see, we can see there. It's just a matter. I'm going to turn the volume up real quick. So if in the chat, you guys can let me know if you hear it or not, I'd appreciate it. I think all of us probably won't be able to talk. We'll get feedback. So if you guys can just hold it for a second, I'm going to put this up and see how loud it is or if people can hear it.
Yeah, probably have to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's just because it's the noise. It's not talking.
Boy, Linda McMahon looks bad as hell.
Oh, we don't have feedback. I think LW, it's his fault for the feedback. Look we're all talking and we've got audio and there's no feedback. So LW, if you're watching, you got to take notes from the professionals here.
Oh.
Ooh, burn. I'm going to pay for that, believe me.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know, Tammy. You got a ways before you catch up.
Yeah, see, you can see in that shot there's only 4 justices.
Oh, yeah. LW just bought us 3 coffees, you guys. He said the one and only LW buying you guys a coffee. Thanks for covering for me tonight. That's so sweet. He's got to do that after I give him a little jab. So thanks, LW.
Yeah, we just sent you 17 pizzas, cash on delivery, Mike.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys in the chat can hear it. That's awesome. Yep, everybody's saying they can hear. I think this is good. I like being able to see them come in. Oh, there's that dude. Who's that dude with the beard and stuff? He's a Democrat.
Al
that guy.
Green.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, that race baiter.
I wonder if he'll show his butt tonight.
Oh, he's there.
He's right there.
He is. He's going to get up and holler impeach.
Oh, yeah. They already said, trying to see if they delivered that. No, that's just a wooden gavel. But I don't know if that's right by the speaker's left hand, if that's Washington's gavel, or if they've delivered it yet.
Gosh. All the Trump family. All the wives behind them. Jared Kushner, that guy gives me the creepies. I can't help it.
Oh, me too.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight they're having Erica Kirk here, and that'll be a whole bunch of shows because I still am not thrilled with her. People are like, leave her alone. She's a weeping widow, and God bless her. I understand that, but there is so much unresolved stuff from Charlie, and it's like the gavel. I'll shut up.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Oh, please be good. Waiting to see if the big chair is behind him anywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking John Thune, you better pull through, buddy.
Yeah.
The man never looks tired. He just gets all jacked up from this kind of stuff Trump does. That adrenaline flows.
Well, you know, for as many people, Democrats as hate him, boy, they're sure taking a lot of pictures of him.
I wonder why.
Look. He looks pissed in a way, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He's like, probably, I've been waiting a long time for this one.
I'm ready. I'm ready for me to tell the Speaker of the House to call the Master at Arms.
Oh, the one guy has a Trump tie on, Outlandish Patriot said. That's hilarious.
Oh, there's Al Green. What's up, Wolfman?
Yeah. Oh, what are you already starting trouble?
He's
There
already
we
got
go.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you little. Oh, you jerk.
Oh, you know. What a disgrace. You know,
It is. This is not clownery or foolery right now. This is like, you're supposed to have respect here and some class and dignity.
you know, as much as I didn't care for Joe Biden, I hated to see when Republicans did. Well, they didn't do this stupid shit, but you know,
No, Schumer didn't even make eye contact.
I wouldn't make eye contact with him either. Yeah, see, there's only 4 justices.
Wow.
Boy, he didn't even look at Amy Coney Barrett or Sotomayor.
Well, he pretty much nailed Amy Coney.
Oh, did you see the look?
Look there's Elizabeth Warren looking so sad.
I want to buy her something other than that freaking blue jacket.
I want to buy
a new hairdo.
I want to buy.
There's the gavel. It's right there in glass.
There we go.
Here we go, everybody.
Washington.
Oh, sorry. Got to do their ad. They got to do their ad.
Come on, Donnie. Piss these people off.
I'm so excited. Pocahontas. That's right, Mimi.
Yeah. Give her some corn. Hey, I didn't see Erica Kirk up in the gallery. Come on, Donnie, lay some hate. That shocks me that there's only 4 justices there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Look at Al Green. He say, "Come on, man, put it down."
Well, put the sign down and get your hair cut. Come on, dude. Go get a haircut. Like, how can you be so miserable? Oh, get him, buddy. Here, we're gonna have a fist fight. I don't know who that dude is. Oh yeah, get him. Trump's like, get him.
Yep. I think that's not he's a SEAL. He was with SEAL Team 3. Oh, damn.
Oh, it was Mullis. Outlandis said Mullis was going after Green. That's
Yeah,
right.
Members
yeah,
of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Please use Washington's gavel.
Hey, Craig DeHunter. Good to see you.
There you go.
Good. Thank you, Lori.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
Barron's like, do I really have to get up?
Second Lady of the United States. Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
See you later, Al Green. See
Yeah.
you later, buddy.
And we will never go
Captain.
back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure. Thank you. Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before. After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. in the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%. Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline. Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem while at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest. As thousands of new businesses are forming and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America. We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year, we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps. And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong. Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Followed by Jeffrey Epstein.
I think that's pretty cool.
Can you see if the Democrats are standing?
Oh, no, it's a mixed bag if they're over on the left there.
Yeah, hell, even the Joint Chiefs are
Okay,
standing.
you see some Democrats over there. Elizabeth Warren is up there. She's doing a golf.
Go ahead. They do. That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House. They were in the Oval Office before. And I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
I guess we can classify him as the new Secretary of Defense, huh?
Oh, yeah, he had that sign. Yeah.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal. And I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. Do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best. And I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no. And every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much. I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics. And it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
Sounds like we're rolling in ice.
And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in the first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics, I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news. So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. Buddy earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
Awesome.
So, buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one? As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClymont closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety.
Settle down, PO2.
People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
That is 30 points for your advancement test.
And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aide, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together, we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
The Dems look miserable. Jeez.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
Now the mudslinging begins.
Let it go. Let's go. Get the kids out of the room.
And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America. Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half. Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children. They're great people. You know, I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school and I made computers and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling. And pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that. But I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad. So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to trumpaccounts.gov, trumpaccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. They're setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth. And the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful country saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love. Right? Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America. For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly use the word affordability, a word they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem. They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward. The price of eggs is down 60%. Madam Secretary, thank you.
And when I took off,
Cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing costs of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great healthcare plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a much lower cost. In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before. Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action, but I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere, the lowest price. So in my first year of the second term, should be my third term, but strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way. And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big, Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto the TrumpRx website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500, a reduction of much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom. So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is home ownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes. And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Rachel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. It's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information. They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she was here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay. I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance. He'll get it done. Find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where corruption and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah. Delilah Colden was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up. Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens. And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Lizbeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight, I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, Homeland Security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight, I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act. To stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats, 89%. And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens. And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things you almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John. And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up. And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy. Amazing. Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? Huh? No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady, now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight, we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both. And Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much. I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man. So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand. Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind. We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget there were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there. Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen? In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. One of the sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation. She was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged. Shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital. and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Eva Lee. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like it. So sorry. Thank you very much. A great young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night. And she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone. But his mother said, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melody? She turned out to be right. Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much. So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart. We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared. And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco. People like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever. Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that? Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. It was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back, but we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job. And we're working very hard to end the 9th war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president, would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer. Good. For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests, 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen. And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called Peace Through Strength, and it's been very, very effective. So thanks to Republicans in Congress who are investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed at my very strong request to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. and every service member recently. And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776. You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute, for one more dollar, we can have $1,776. It's going to I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar, I said $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it. So we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that. We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched, they saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie. You know, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it. Look at Space Force. Space Force is my baby because we did that. My baby is becoming so important. And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice. And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down. Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro, really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter, a big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine gun stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission, we probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying and landing and People knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife, Amy, Eric, and Amy. Come on in. So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House, and Eric will be there. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor. Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric. I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you. Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years, they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Yeah.
He said it was going to be a long one, and it was 2:28. Wow.
I had to charge my battery.
Or two. Well, we were on for 28, so he did 2 hours.
I'll tell you what,
Huh?
he was passing out more medals than Oprah Winfrey was passing out cars.
That was very unusual, wasn't it?
And I'll tell you what, he was opening more doors than fucking Monty Hall, and I was hoping that Epi was gonna walk out.
That would have been amazing. Or some kind of little clincher. I just kept trying to see Pelosi and I couldn't see her, but somebody was saying
she was 2 seats above Schumer.
Yeah, she was there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell y'all, we just witnessed one of the most brilliant political tacticians ever. He annihilated the Democrats. And he did it. I mean, look, that was so brilliant. You know, I'm gonna make one statement, and everyone should be able to stand for this statement. And he makes it, and then the Democrats took the bait and sat on their hands, and then he pointed it out. Yeah, you know, he was talking about the safety and security of the American people.
Yeah, and
how could you not stand? They sat there. He annihilated them.
He did. Oh, there's Kennedy. Senator Kennedy. Yeah, he did. And he stayed strong. I think it was a pretty darn good speech. And I liked how he called them out in front of them. I like that he's not playing word games with anybody. I've always admired his honesty and his bluntness.
Yep.
Look at all those SEALs that are around him.
Yeah.
You can tell by their little lapel pins.
Yeah.
I've seen 4 so far.
What are those mean? What am I missing?
Navy SEALs.
Oh, the SEALs. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, there's been 4 of them. Yeah. Yep. I mean, look. I was hoping something, but I'll tell you what, the way he's calling people out on both sides of the aisle, I mean, with the insider trading,
Yeah.
with, SCOTUS, I think this is a prelude of something getting
come?
ready to break loose.
Yeah. I have
Well-
no doubt, Jeff. I felt pretty secure that we followed the right path. He certainly he hit every point, because the day I wrote a post, and there's the things that he didn't say, I mean, I understand that's not the place for in the State of the Union address, because this was really, the midterms and the critical nature of
Mhm.
what we confront in the midterms, and our need to really turn out the vote. He made the greatest case for that I think he could have. There was things that I knew he wouldn't say, but out of what I knew that he would say, I think I went back and looked at my post while he was doing it, and I think I hit every point, because it's really key that we recognize exactly the success that he's had, and how he is really empowering. There's a ways to go, and the economy is going to hit some tough roads. But
Mhm.
part of the tough road that we're going to see will be the dismantling of the debt system, the Federal Reserve System. Those are things that could cause great upset if you didn't recognize what he already has in place to move in and go back to an asset-backed sound money system. He didn't talk about that because it hasn't happened yet. But we're right on the cusp of that, guys. What's going to happen in the next couple of days with particularly metal, silver, and gold in the economy, because all the short guys now, those calls for their options are due or come due. Then in the first 2 weeks of March, we'll also see how upside down the banks are in commercial real estate, to the tune of anywhere between 10 and 13 trillion dollars. But that's the bank's debt. So that'll be a blow against the bankers. And that's going to be something that we'll all get to live and witness together. And how many times did he say, the golden era? So going to a gold backed currency will restore this nation and hopefully our republic.
I hope so. I admire his intelligence and his ability to speak the way he does. He's very sharp. He's very smart. And it's impressive to watch that, it's not like he had all day to rest up and get ready for this. He's been busy all day long, and that's how he goes. So, I mean, he has the heart of a warrior. That's for sure. Definitely. And, before we do final thought and wrap this up, I thought this person's asking Joshua. He wants to know what we think about Mom Donnie saying you need ID to shovel snow. We touched on that a little bit in chat, but that's the reality. He's calling out ID and stuff, and he's defending it, saying that if you want to be a city worker to shovel snow, the law says you have to have ID. And I just think it's crazy that they have such a double mouth and a double mind, because they don't really pay attention to the law, in my opinion. So, and then also, obviously, with New York's having a lot of problems since he took office. It's not in good shape at all. But what do you guys think about him? Do you think that is going to lead the way? Like when President Trump says, we're getting taken from the inside. Do you believe, like Mom Donnie, and there's places in Texas that are in a lot of trouble with this whole prayer all the time, becoming prayer calling through the cities, Michigan's that way too. I just feel like we're being taken over, and I agree. So what do you guys think about that? Whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead, John.
Well, the Sharia law is never going to take place in this country. Texas will take the lead on that through legislation and show people a path forward. As far as Mamdani, I mean, you knew what you were getting, and now they're protesting in New York, and people are they're going to flee like rats leaving a sinking ship, huh? And they're good Americans, but they didn't elect the guy, but the people that did elect him now are going to see what happens when you elect a socialist. He didn't run from who he is. He's a communist. I mean, he can call himself a socialist, but anybody that studies socialism recognizes that that's the opening door to communism. So we're confronted with that, and how that goes for New York. That's going to be a terrible place to be. He's already having to increase taxes. And then how did he show himself for the ignorant guy that he is when he says you got to show ID to shovel snow? You got to have 5 different types of identification to shovel snow? Really? Well, all we're going to tell you is you got to have one single federal ID to vote. And if you don't like that, and in the SAVE Act, all he did was advocate and push and show the ignorance behind the socialist agenda. They want you to have, I got to present all kinds. We all do. We all know the ignorance of not having to show yourself to be an American citizen, to vote in a federal election, and to show ID. That's just good common sense and logic. Now, my concern is how rapidly can we clean the voter rolls prior to the midterm, because that'll be a big task.
Yeah. Jeff?
Well, with the midterms, I think, my opinion is, if the voter rolls are so skewed, which I think they are, if elections have been taken from the American people, which I believe they are, I can very seriously see where we won't have a midterm, because they're going to have to clean the voter rolls. I mean, I've talked to people in a couple different states. They have already got paperwork from the Department of the elections where they're at in their state to re-register. So
Wow. Yeah.
there is circumstantial evidence out there that we're moving towards this, and I think we need to where everyone will have to re-register. And with the thing with Mamdani, what I believe Trump is doing, or whoever, is this right here was the first notch in laying the groundwork for what we're about ready to see. Because, he called out the Supreme Court. He called out the insider trading.
There you go.
He called out voter fraud. I mean, and you didn't hear the boos, like you have before. There are some seriously nervous people in the gallery there, that on the House floor, that I think they know the gig is up. Just the look on Nancy Pelosi's face when he called her out.
Yeah.
You called her out in a State of the Union on crimes. So damn well that they got the evidence that there's a crime there. And all of them are guilty. Oh, I wouldn't say all of them. I'd say 98% of them are guilty of it. And the stuff he was saying, I think, is the preamble for what's about ready to happen.
I
He
agree
had
with
old Elon Omar.
Oh,
He had
yeah.
her screaming in her chair.
Oh.
her and Tlaib were coming unhinged.
Yeah.
But the crowd overdid them,
Yeah. I mean, I believe, there will be the detractors that say, oh, this wasn't presidential, yada. And I can see that already. And that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. just like with when I seen a few nights ago where they were doing a call to prayer in Times Square.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
I don't agree with it, because if you had Catholics or Christians out there doing it, that would be the end of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if these people are American citizens, I fought and served this country for your right to do that, but it has to be equal across the board. And it's just not that way. And for, the people of New York who elected this mayor, hey, look, you deserve what you got. You wanted this. If the election was straight up, fair and square, New York, be prepared to burn.
Yeah.
There's consequences, that's for sure. I'm just still shocked. I think that somebody like that got elected, that there are so many extremes in the people that are elected and their beliefs, and a complete opposite what of America always is and always was. The whole idea that America is this melting pot, but you can come here illegally and take over everything and take advantage of things is just really, it's just sickening to me. And it's a hard realization to see how many of our elected officials buy into that to get rich out of it. It's just so sad to me. So, America, this world, and even this country could be so beautiful. And it is. Moments that we saw tonight, like the pinning of the medals and the 100-year-old veteran. I mean, that brought tears to my eyes. That's what America is about. That's what America's about. Not all this stuff that we've been dealing with lately, and all this fire and burning and evil and corruption and negativity, and kids can trans any age they want to, and you don't tell the parents. I mean, you just look at the decline morally of this country, and it's just so sad to me. But there's moments like this when we have this State of the Union and a president that really seems to be fighting hard to get our morals and standards back and God back in the forefront. And I just think that's what we need to do. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and he addressed that. I mean, he point blank addressed that. The heritage and the foundation and the providence that we are a nation founded on the principles of God. I mean, he nailed that head on. But one thing, Tammy, when you look at Madani in New York and across the country, because you've got New Orleans has always been somewhat of a hellhole in here in Louisiana. But when you promise people free stuff, the harsh reality in government sets in when you've promised the free stuff and there's no money to give the free stuff. Well, then you have to tax someone.
Mm-hmm.
And then people will take taxation until they say, hey, I've had enough of this. And then guess what? They're going to move. They're going to leave. Well, once you've run out all the taxpayers, the people that carry the burden for all the free stuff, where's the free stuff come from then? And that's what Madani's going to face. And the people across all these communist city centers are going to confront this same thing. But Madani is going to be like the headstone. That's where all of this will go to die, because I'll tell you what, they elected him. They're going to suffer the harsh reality and the consequences because people are fleeing New York.
Yeah.
Right. Who's going to foot the bill?
Yeah. What's going to happen? I mean, it's going to become like the real Gotham City. It is.
Right.
Like
Well,
Batman.
we had a movie about that. And one movie with Kurt Russell was based what's his name, Pliskin, and you had one in New York and then you had one out in L.A. So there's a reality that we've seen the movie. We know how it turns out. Wall them up and let them stay. You want to be there? You want it to be communist? Here you go. Have your city.
Yeah, Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah. So, my final thought is, whether you agree or disagree with, Trump's policies or politics, one thing that I can say in my lifetime, that is the first time that I have seen a commander-in-chief give as many awards and medals. Not only that, but to share a story that was probably classified top secret TK, on that operator of the Special Air Wing. And, a lot of people don't like Pete Hegseth, but I am probably pretty certain he pushed for all those awards to go out, and recommended him, the Purple Hearts. I think I've only seen one time in my lifetime ever that a Purple Heart's been given out at a State of the Union address. I mean, and for people who aren't in the military, that's a big fucking deal. Even a Congressional Medal of Honor, that's a big deal. And because when you get either one of those, it opens up a whole broad view of basically benefits to that individual.
Oh, wow.
You get preferential treatment with the VA. You get preferential treatment with housing, funding. Look it up sometime. And they should, because of the valiant that they gave. I mean, it's that to me stands out.
Well, real quick, I don't mean to make you lose your thought, but I want to thank you for sharing that with us, because I did not know that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know that. And that's a shame. It's a pitiful shame that is not on the forefront of everybody, that we all grew up knowing that, and that they were celebrated so much, that was just our way of life. And we're like, we can't wait to see the State of the Unions or any kind of ceremony, because there's so many people that are going to get these beautiful awards that are well deserved. Instead, we're talking about the ugly, nasty stuff that we do, that the people in our government do, and it's flip-flopped around backwards. So really, thank you for sharing that, Jeff.
Yeah, I was seeing comments in the chat. People were saying, this is probably one of the greatest State of the Unions that this country, in modern history. I think yes, but not for the reasons that people are putting it in there. I think the reasons why this one's going to go down in history is because the President of the United States just forecasted to the American people, if they're willing to listen, what's about ready to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much symbology with the gavel. George Washington, 1776, the 1776 payments to the military. This is all going back. I mean, he even touched, in some ways, on the Monroe Doctrine. And what floors me is when he was talking about that pilot, he kind of had a slip of the tongue talking about how we're doing operations inside of Mexico.
Yeah.
And you could see on General Kane's face, like, oh shit, I wish you wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, exactly. I noticed that, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, you have a great evening, and we'll see what happens in the next 24.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, John. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate both of you. It was awesome it was a great pleasure to work with you tonight. It was great. So I'll see you on the next one, or the next time you come on.
Hey, prayers out to Mike and his mama.
Yep. I got that. I wanted to let everybody know that I did put LW's mom, Shirley Poff. I pinned it to the top of the Facebook page. If you guys missed it, she is facing some serious health issues. So prayers mostly and mainly for her family, LW. And then if you want to send a card or flowers, the address is there where she's at, that you'll be able to do that and reach out that way. So in the meantime, we appreciate all of you for being here tonight as well. All of you viewers that have viewed with us, and those of you who will watch later, we appreciate you so very much. And before you leave, please don't forget to share and hit the like button and subscribe. We appreciate it. And I don't know when we'll be back on again, but we'll plan something. I'm just thankful that the platforms worked tonight. X said it wasn't going to work very well, and it hasn't the last two shows, but it did work tonight. So thank God for that. So with that being said, love all of you guys. Take care. God bless. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a great night.